Your look doesn't match your sound.
Excuse me?
You dress like a drifter, but you sound like a space opera.
Oh, hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and whatever time zone you're in. This is not a walkthrough, and this is certainly not some meta commentary. This is da-da-da-da! Sorry, I was just too busy rocking my socks off. But this is the review of the Artful Escape. Love it, live it, rock it. Man, that's worse to live by. Right? Alright, so, if you've seen my Fighting X Layer, Chia, and pretty recent reviews, I've been taking a kind of like ebb and flow. So, for any new subscriber, I guess I do have a new subscriber just from the last time I did my last review, which was Fighting X Layer. So, of course, I actually have a review. Hold on, let's turn on the volume just slightly, just the music volume, so you guys can hear me. Even though the music volume is fantastic, even though it's freaking fantastic. Alright, that's a better. Okay, so for the new subscriber, I go into like pretty much part 1. I think I have, in a sense, 4 parts. Yeah, I think about 4 parts. I think that's about right. Part 1 is the score. Part 2 is the negative. Part 3 is the positive. And part 4 is the conclusion and my concluding thoughts. Obviously. So, I've been doing the ebb and flow since Chia review. And I've been loving this format. So, everything that I'm saying right now, it's going to be intersped with... Did I say that right? Intersped? It's going to be a compilation of actual gameplay footage I did when I actually played the game. It won't apply to every game like Genshin Impact or freaking RPGs unless it has a chapter select. Otherwise, I will go back to my like old approach if it's a game that is just impossible to game the gameplay footage. If it's just too impossible, I will do my best. Otherwise, if there is a chapter select, I will actually show you gameplay footage of my actual experience of the single player campaign or multiplayer campaign. It just depends. Now you actually know my ebb and flow, let's get started. So, part 1, and I'm not going to do any like PowerPoint presentation of like part 1 like I did for the Fight X layer. I was just trying something different. So, part 1, the score. What do I give the Artful Escape? Well, if you judge it from my tone of voice and my kind of like the positivity of my voice, it's getting an 9 out of 10. Oh, absolutely, it's getting an 9 out of 10. You thought it was going to get 8 out of 10 or lower than that? Well, you were wrong. You were absolutely wrong. That kind of sums it up. So, let's discuss, and we'll move to part 2. I know I kept that short. I didn't go, like, really in depth. You're probably like, yo, why didn't you give it a 9 out of 10? Well, that's why part 2 and part 3 is going to explain. So, part 3. Well, actually, technically, this is, part 2. The negative. Alright, so the negative, and I couldn't ignore it. I tried to. I really try for the Australian... Oh, wow, I had tongue tie. The Australian studio, Beethoven and Dinosaur. I really want to give them a shout out for a lot of positive stuff. The positive really outweigh the negative. But the negative is... the dialogue is odd. Or, let me put it this way. The dialogue is... it's great writing, but the dialogue for some of the levels is strange. It is like Doctor Strange. Like, it's strange and odd. And it's kind of like, it's stuff that people would not say in everyday situation or normal conversation. It was weird. Let's roll the clip.
Oh, shall it be written? Question 1. What are 3 essentials on your backstage rider?
Huh. I mean, that's a weird question. What? For... there.
An ice replica of La Sagrada Familia.
What the heck does that mean?
An octopus mixologist, non-negotiable.
I I have no idea what the hell that means.
A hover car with a full tank of gas and no plates.
Guys, does this make
Question
sense?
number 2. Ooh, this one's salty.
Cool. Glad you're back. Yeah, that's what I mean. There were just too many instances where the dialogue was just super, super odd. And I really had to kind of suspend my disbelief of how odd the dialogue was. And especially when you're talking to the alien creatures. When you're back on the, I guess, what was it called? The Cosmolon. When you're back on it, the conversations are freaking normal and really hit you where you live. That's where the writing really shines. And when we're talking to, I guess, the tastemaker, it's still funny. But yeah, it's just, when it's talking to the aliens, the dialogue is weird as hell, and I will admit that. That's all I got. That's all the negative I got. I know, I kept it pretty short. Very odd. I have only solid positives to give to this game. And this is going to be a short review because there was a lot of positive. I'll try not to be extensive, but I think that kind of gets the point. Now, moving on to part 3, the positive. Okay, this is my favorite part. I love talking about the positive, and especially for this game, absolutely, absolutely, this is going to be a positive. Absolutely. Okay, so there's too many instances of positives about this, and it's the reason why the positives are the reason why this got a 9 out of 10. First positive. It's an excellent story about self-discovery and being yourself, or accepting yourself, no matter what people's expectations are, or what people want you to be, or what you're expected to be. Sometimes you just gotta not get everyone's approval, and just kind of take that risk, take that plunge, and just be accepting of yourself. As long as it's nothing like self-harm, or something that will actually hurt you, if it's something that, like, let's just say you're great, people expect you to be an accountant because of your family, but you actually want to be a rock star. And if you're really solid at it, then it's your prerogative, and it's your life, in a sense. But yeah, that's what I mean. This game is really solid about Francis Vendetti of what he wants to be. And I like that the game takes its time to breathe and flesh out a story that doesn't really get touched that much, about really just kind of like, don't be everyone's expectation. Love yourself. Be yourself. Accept that you don't have to be in someone else's shadow just because that's what the town expects you to do. And I highly appreciate that. It was very solid from the beginning, and it's very solid throughout the story. It's consistent, and that's what I love about it. Roll the next clip. Don't give in. Don't conform to what... Don't conform. Yeah! You are Flash Gordon, intergalactic of transmission. You are the powerful Flash Gordon from the Blue Gome, Solus of the first intergalactic transmission of kickassery. Let's rock! Get it! Let's get it! Good, you're back. And it's not just that. My gosh, there's just too many instances where the story really shines. Even when there's padding in between the platforming, and I mean there is just padding between the platforming, it's not unnecessary padding. The story is still consistent from the beginning to the end. Moving on to the next positive. I know, I'm straight to the point. That's not like me, but I knew I had so many solid focal points for the Artful escape. I could not there was just too many positive and too many notes. I already had concise thoughts of like, yeah, this is what I want to say about this. This is absolutely what I say. Now, next positive. Excellent to great characters with strong voice acting. I think we can combine the two. Of course, we're going to talk about the OG Carl Weathers, and I'm actually looking at TV tropes because I have to kind of acknowledge the voice actors and voice actors and voice actresses who really put the time in this. Yeah, I guarantee if there wasn't an all-star cast, if there wasn't an all-star cast, there is no way that the game would have not been played. Sadly, I think its art style definitely sold you, but it's all-star cast. That's really what. Yeah, it's sad, but that's true. Alright, let me actually take the time to just kind of pull up the actors and actresses. Give me 1 second. And I should be able to pull them up pretty quick. Okay, so, of course, who's playing Francis Vendetti. And I'm not going to go, because of the sake of time, I'm not going to go about the credit words. I always just mention, like, things they've been in. Michael Johnston plays he is a perfect cast for Francis Vendetti. Or I guess, as I like to call him, Flash Gordon. Oh, absolutely. He kills it. And it's not, his voice acting gets tremendously better. It was already fantastic from the beginning, but when he gets more confidence, you can feel it. You can feel it in his personality, and just, I don't see anyone else who could play Francis. And whoever is not familiar with Michael Johnston, just to kind of give you for the series he's best known for, to keep it short, okay, so he was in Teen Wolf in TV series, and Slash. And he was also in a few video game titles as well, but let's not go into details until we see him again. So let's just keep it short. Another standout, of course, was Jason Schwartzman. I know I mispronounced it, but Jason, let's just keep that. Yeah, you already know him. He's in most Wes Anderson films. If you've seen a Wes Anderson film, you'll know Jason Schwartzman. And besides that, you just know him. You just know him. He's kind of really well known. He played the Spot from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The guy's going places, and I kind of appreciate that. And of course, the OG Carl Weathers, who passed away last year. Or wait, or was it this year? No, it was, what did I say last year? It was earlier this year. My gosh, my bad, people. It's just, it doesn't feel real, and it hasn't hit me just yet, but yeah, Carl Weathers. He's OG. He is one of the standouts from that. So, apart from, and the list goes on. Courtney Taylor is another one. We all know Courtney Taylor. Oh, yes. From the Mass Effect series, and the list goes on. From Carl Weathers to Courtney Taylor to Jason Schwartzman to Mark Strong to Lena Headey, who was pretty much played Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones. I just started the series. I know it is. But that's what I mean. It's just, it's because of the strong voice acting. These characters are hidden. You would think they would be outlandish and ridiculous because of the strange dialogue. Too small dose. It doesn't happen often, but these characters make the most outlandish and ridiculous dialogue, but they sell it with their excellent voice acting. Roll the clip.
I'm not the captain. You are.
Technically, you are. In our hearts, Carl Weathers.
They can't put this on me. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, it's too freaking late now because of plot.
Trust me when I say I believe you, kid. But also trust me when I say you're wrong.
Impossible to say when I'm not behind the wheel.
That's true.
Turns me into a hopeless wanderer, and I feel like it's time to wander.
Interesting.
Well, I thought, that we were a good team.
Lovers? No.
We're just starships passing in the night, kid.
Damn, that's smooth.
I'm not looking for a collaborator. Not for a while.
So, Good, you're finally back. I'm glad you're back. Oh, man. Yeah, that's what I mean. And that's another positive. Oh yes, I still have a few more positives to go. This will be short. Artistic direction. And then what I mean is it's strong artistic direction. And I'll explain. This just looks like, and I think when I was watching someone's review video, A Night in the Woods is pretty appropriate in terms of the art style, but it goes further in. It really just goes further. They really go for the artistic style. Not only is it like hand-drawn, hand-crafted, there's no 3D kind of like animation. They go for 2D animation, and it freaking works for this. For this psychedelic kind of rock opera, I guess we could call it a psychedelic space rock opera, which is pretty freaking accurate. The artistic direction never lets up. It's consistent, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's so ridiculous, but it works. Roll the next clip. Turtle, go at the speed of time and space! Suck my intergalactic warp turtle! What the actual heck? Trippy. Go, Warp Turtle! And we're finally back at the Cosmic One. Good, you're finally back. Another thing that is also a kind of a it's a small positive, but it's worth acknowledging. Platforming is a delight. Case in point, I'll show you just a few things. We went through this in the first level, and we go back to this in the first level too. And then just shredding, kind of just rocking out in your guitar while you're going through the forest like this. It's so gratifying. It's so melancholy. Not melancholy. It's so peaceful. So savage. It's so freaking cool. And that's what I mean. Yeah, that's why I wanted to show you that. Because it's just too fantastic. There was just too many vistas and locations with the strong artistic direction where I'm just shredding and just kind of rocking out with a guitar, but shredded out to a mountain vista in the winter wonderland, Grand Canyon, and a freaking jungle, and a laser show. It's just fantastic and consistent. The platforming is, it doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's a great short, like a refreshing change of pace when they do it. It's very fantastic. It never lets up, especially that chase sequence. It was pretty freaking great. I admit, it was so great. And this is also part with the platforming too. The gameplay is, it's simplistic, and it's not going to change you by like, this is a video game, you're watching a movie, absolutely. But the gameplay was not disappointing too because of the shredding. It's so simplistic, and yes, it Simon Says with the musical sequence, absolutely. And that's nothing different. Yeah, the musical sequences are Simon Says. And that would kind of probably bore people, but it enhances the narrative and the gameplay. It just kind of, like, puts it like peanut butter and jelly. I know that metaphor has probably been used before, but it really just melts you into the music, and you're just kind of rocking out. You're in Francis' mindset when you're doing the Simon Says, and it doesn't feel needless. It's short, and like the platformer, it doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's a great delight. And as a music lover, and also playing in marching band, and and marching band and an actual band, yeah, I'm a music enthusiast, so I enjoyed the crap out those sequences. So, the last two positive, fantastic soundtrack, as you can hear on this one. Oh, before we get to that, let's roll the next clip about the platforming. That's right, platforming will not stop rock and roll! Yeah! Did you say Holy Father, it's hideous? Well, good. Now that we're back, let's talk about the soundtrack. It's fantastic. It's already low on this one because I turned down the volume. But it's a solid soundtrack. And when you see the first clip, when Share Factory finished it, when I finished all the edits in Share Factory, that's what I mean. The music is solid. It is one of the top modern soundtracks. I downloaded it on Spotify because it's freaking fantastic. From the Bob Dylan-esque from I guess from his uncle, from basically the Bob. Why was I trying to say Bob? I'm trying to say Bob Dylan. Man, tongue-tied. But from the Bob Dylan kind of like folk music from the beginning to the rock opera that they do at the end, it's all the soundtrack is freaking S tier. It never lets up, and it just enhances the narrative, the gameplay. It never lets up. Roll the clip. Proportion, let's get it! Oh, sorry. Ruined it.
What say you, Glamourgon?
I give this a 20 out of 10. You magnificent Flash. Powerful Flash Gordon. Yep. And the last positive, and I'm going to show you, the ending fits. It's a solid, neat little, it wraps the story up in a neat little bow. It's not like the most fantastic ending like Red Dead Redemption 1 or 2, those calibers of those strong ending that it just wraps it up. But it's a fitting and it's a very inspiring ending. It's a solid ending. It's an ending that the ending from the start, it just had a great central message, and it ends it in the most way. It ends it the way an Artful Escape had to end, with the rock opera, and the fact that Francis feels fulfilled and is accepted into himself. That's what I love about the ending. He starts off as a guy who feels the pressure, anxiety, and just feels the pure pressure, to a guy who, dude, screw all you haters, I'm going to do my own thing. And it just really, it shows throughout that. It's a short campaign, like 4 to 6 hours. It's not long, but man, just the build up to get to that point, that Francis just doesn't let anybody stop him. I love it. I love the ending. I think it's a solid ending, and even if this is a one-off game, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that it's a one-off game. So, let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's do a solid ending. Well, let's go ahead and show the clip, I mean. Yeah! And cue the thunder of epic proportions, and with his hair flowing, he's Splash freaking Gordon.
I am the powerful...
You're damn right you are.
From the Blue Gum! I am the soloist of the first intergalactic transmission.
Now rock your socks off.
And I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, you'll remember this night for the rest of your lives!
Get it! Oh, I guess the glow's not glitter to you. Come on, Vic. That is. That's how you end it. Oh, I feel the chills. Oh, rock on, rock on. Ah. And with that, guys, I'm going to keep this also pretty short too, and let's actually talk about the concluding thoughts, and we'll talk about the schedule. Oh, I guess for tomorrow. Okay, cool. It has been about 18 minutes. So what I really wanted to say, the concluding thoughts. Do I say buy the Artful and the Artful? Wait, is it an Artful or the Artful? It's the Artful Escape. I was saying an Artful Escape. It's the Artful Escape. Sorry, a little bit tongue-tied. But, do I recommend buying it? I can't say in good consciousness I would say buying it. If I would say either you can watch my YouTube walkthrough and just watch all the cutscenes, or you can just watch all the cutscenes on YouTube. But this is a game that you will rent, and I say that with respect to this game. I say that with absolute utmost respect. But there's no gameplay. If you're looking for a video game, this is not a video game. This is a space rock opera of quick time events, and Simon Says. That sums it up. If you're looking for gameplay, like solid gameplay, this is not the game for you. This is not the game for you. If you are strictly gameplay, this is not a gameplay. This is a movie. This is a movie game. And I highly appreciate this. I can come back to this and show you guys like this is a masterpiece, artistic masterpiece. That's completely fair. But I can't say in good consciousness buy this at full price. I think you probably should rent it, but not buy it. You see what I mean? It's a movie game, and if you don't like movie games, this is not going to be your cup of tea, and you're going to probably be a little pissed. But that kind of is my concluding thoughts. I think, but if you like these type of rhythm games, or I guess musical operas, rock operas specifically, you're going to love this game. And I don't know if you'll get a high score as me, but you'll freaking love this game. So yeah, I will say rent it, but I can highly recommend this. I think you don't have to go on a blind walkthrough. You can watch cutscenes before and just play it. And if you're a music enthusiast, let me put it this way: if you're a music enthusiast, or you're just looking for a new game, then go ahead and try this out. Rent it, but I wouldn't say buy full price. Yeah, that kind of sums it up. I very much kept it short. It's very not like me, but there's not a whole lot I can say about the Artful Escape. I say watch the cutscenes and get your mind blown. It's freaking awesome. I like the Artful Escape. It was a pleasure to play this. Enough said. And let's turn out the volume. Oh, no. Wait. Yeah, system default. And we're gonna turn out the volume too. And guys, with that, I will say it has been an honor playing the Artful Escape. I hope Beethoven and Dinosaur make more games. There's no rush, but if they do make more games in the future, I'm excited. I think if this was their first game, well done guys. You impressed me with this type of game. I should have been surprised, but I was, and I very much appreciate that. I very much appreciate you guys. So, schedule for pretty much Thursday and Friday. Friday is going to be tentative. Saturday is a no-go, no streaming on that. Okay, so Thursday, it's still going to be, and Friday are the same schedule. Alphabetical order, for the first half of the day, it's going to be Tias and Tango. Obviously, I'm going to try to do as much as I can. And then in the second half, we're doing the same thing. We're just playing another game that we're going to do a marathon too. And since we're done with the Artful Escape, that's one game down, and working on any other games for leaving PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium. That sums it up. It's going to be pretty much a simple schedule. So of course you can leave that like, comment, or subscribe. Guys, how we're going to conclude this video, we're going to listen to Bob Dylan, and I'm going to be silent. So, of course guys, have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and whatever time zone you're in. Yeah, you thought I was going to do a new clip? Nope, we're ending it right now, and enjoy this Bob Dylan-ish song. Enjoy. And I'll see you guys. I guess I'll see you guys for the next video game content.
see a blonde-haired boy. He'd be playing in the fields, and his daddy lifts him up on his steering wheel. He says, one day, son, this'll all be yours, and the banks of the rivers are lined in gold, and the sweet rows of pines lost in your winter night. Run, baby, far from home. The banks of the rivers, they are lined in gold. Now you best believe he is grateful indeed for all the work that his mother be doing with the pick and her seeds. She's lifting the hay fields and she's turning the soil where the banks of the rivers, they are lined in gold. Near the sweet rows of pines lost in your winter night. Run, baby, far from home, where the banks of the rivers, they are lined in gold. It's a place to hide in the back of your mind. It's a soft just like a hummingbird when she touches the sky. And you've got nowhere, and you don't know just why. You're a child of the river coming home tonight. Sweet rows of pines lost in your winter night. Where you run, baby, far from home, where the banks of the rivers, they are lined in gold. And you run, baby, far from home, where the banks of the rivers are lined in gold, where the banks of the rivers are lined